Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dogtown Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Blech.
What's up with it, John? Man, don't change that down. This your player promise, the legendary cocaine. And you tuned in live to Offthecuffradio. Better not touch that down. Well.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Offthecuffradio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Offthecuffradio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Offthecuffradio. What's up? What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout-out to the livest show on Friday nights, Offthecuffradio, and I'm live from the 704. Make sure y'all tune in for the blazing hot music.
What it ain't, what it do. It's Chili Chill from that original Lynch Mob. And Offthecuffradio, always where it's at on Friday nights. West, y'all.
Yeah. West side. Tweet. Yeah. We on top of shit this year, you heard me? Yeah, do this for my niggas in the streets. We don't do no talking, we don't speak. We been out here trapping for some weeks. Real niggas don't know about no sleep. We ain't leaving statements on no speech. Niggas acting nerdy in the streets. We been out here trapping for some weeks. Yeah. Real niggas don't know about no sleep. Hey, look, whoever on top is finna step down. I'm set now. The tech round, get a nigga wet down. I chef now. Best round of snitching is a letdown. Guarantee my gunner ain't gon' never say no yes, ma'am. Tall racks, tall gas tries, and we all strapped. All facts, fall back before I hit your ball cap. She got me, little mommy, keep the oxy in her bra strap. Cocky, nigga, you gon' think I'm Rocky when your jaw tap. Lil' Brody know I never talk, I got a set for homie. You can't even put him on the stand and give a testimony. That's the reason Brody ever call, I be on deck for homie. Same niggas, we ain't got no room to feed no extra homies. And these haters shouldn't know about your peeps. And he ain't from the gang, he shouldn't know about your beef. And if you call her wifey, she don't know about no streets. Nigga, all we know is bags, we don't know about no sleep. Do this for my niggas in the streets. We don't do no talking, we don't speak. We been out here trapping for some weeks. Real niggas don't know about no sleep. We ain't leaving statements on no speech. Niggas acting nerdy in the streets. We been out here trapping for some weeks. Real niggas don't know about no sleep.
Paranoid, so I went encrypted speech. Cause I know they listing up the volume when we speak. Spark the plug through the wire for what he could be. Make the grab then like a DJ. I be running back. Swear this shit is all fire. Guaning up your light top bridge, and that's why they coming back. Break it down like a pimp, do a trick, man. Tell her, give me that. The way she go about it, still got these niggas coming back. Rewind Ponder. No Rihanna, Teen Spirit Nirvana. Oh, you not entertained. She's a shotgun to the face, Kurt Cobain. She put it down in they pocket before they cinch in a frame. Look, loyalty is everything, but like respect, you gotta watch for how many change. Hot sauce, keep a mean ass swivel gang. Checking for the glare on the police siren thing. And sleep, nigga don't know shit about no sleep. Take it in at 3-5, the first couple that I see. Remember nigga up the park who lit across the street? Bruh said when a fall pointed out, act like you don't see. Cause it coulda damn well in the meanwhile done been me. Cozy around these snugs, read it backwards, you can see. Never thought it'd be that nigga that I gone and screech. Voice breaking up, people forces at speed. Talk to go about it, way about it, it ain't sweet. Throw that nigga extra when they need it, come to me. When the climax rage, droughts, curfews find a breach. Hottest water fly, I ain't into much. I'm just coolin', I'm just chiefin', I ain't into nothing. Once the money's handed, here's the only move in discussion. Got an understanding off the ones and twos in and out. This is how it's irrigated, pouring out a money spout.
All right. What's the deal, man? It's your man King Eric Media Assassin. You're not tuned in live and direct to the livest hip hop show on the scene, Off the Cuff Radio, episode 654. Got my host T Max with the facts on the line. About to bring him onto the stage. What's good?
What's going on, y'all? This is another Super Sunday in that illustrious chapter of the official and outstanding OTC. That is Off the Cuff Radio. Shout out to our co-host Sincere, Chinchilla, DJ Sincere, Dirty Basement Radio. I mean, look, Cocaine, Buddy Boy Entertainment, and countless others who have been so supportive and instrumental with us. We're live and direct, and we're ready to go. King, tell everybody who we got tonight. And shout out to Eric Schroeder, especially for this of UBO Entertainment, for this connection. Baby, we appreciate you and love you so much. Thank you.
No doubt, man. This dope joint we played from him was called Street Code. So you know he about to get a lot of ism coming from his journey, his grind from the streets all the way now to how he's trying to make this climb into the independent rap game. He's here to tell us his story, his grind, his ambition, his thoughts about the industry, where he want to go further. Very talented brother indeed. What's all welcome, The Dice Ceno to Off the Cuff Radio.
Yep.
What's going on? What's going on with you? What's
going on with you, man? How you?
Chilling. I'm good.
Look, 3 Dice Ceno, like 456 on Stilo. Look, you got the magic connection with it, man. We're happy to have you. Thank you.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah, so tell everybody where you're from. Tell a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm born out Washington, D.C., out of D.C., but I'm out Montgomery County, for real. But,
okay, DMV, stand up.
For sure. And then I'm raised out of Miami, like South Broward County area.
305 is live. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But now I'm currently back up Maryland, for real.
All right, 202 area code. I'm shit, man. It's like, yeah, man, 410.
Yeah, you've been wiggling around, man. You've been wiggling around, being around these different territories, man. Like, what kind of regional gang you soaked up being around these different territories like Florida and Maryland?
Well, Florida, I'm basically raised there, so it's basically like coming from both different areas. They both very different. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Miami more like like for me to explain in Miami to somebody up here, they would probably be looking at me crazy. Like, that's how y'all is up there, down there, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's more up pace up here. Everything more up pace. You know what I'm saying? More. It gotta be now. It's not nothing laid back. Like, we more laid back, but we still get to what we gotta go and do. You feel me? But it's just the pace up here is more faster. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as everything, and like the different kind of coaches, like the way the coaches move too.
Man, look, in Miami, look, you got the donks. You got the dreads. For those that understand that dread culture down there. For real. You laughing because you know why I said that.
Yeah.
Man, look, it's definitely, when you look at it coming from two diametrically different areas, but with an equally rich music history. When you look at DC, home of go-go, backyard band, junkyard band, Rare Essence, even with the rapping, Wale, Question Mark Asylum. When you get down to Miami, it speaks for itself. Luke, and 2 Live Crew, Trick Daddy and Trina, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Slip and Slide Records, shout out to Ted Lucas and all them down there. DJ Jam Pony, DJ Magic Mike,
the foundation is real rich.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about your journey into music. Who is your influences, and how did you find yourself getting into the game with it?
Well, I had like on my last interview, I was speaking on Trick being one.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, only because we had words when I was 16. We spoke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He became, he actually who he is when he say Trick love the kids. He really be out there where we at, or he actually come. He real humble. You know what I'm saying? How he come and we just busting it up, talking and everything, and he really put stuff in my head, like basically like how I said, down there it's like an opportunity. My mama always tell people down there, like when they ask her, like it was like an opportunity for them growing up. You know what I'm saying? So you basically had to go out and do for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody else, anywhere in the world that had to go do for themselves. You know what I'm saying? But he put it in a perspective. If you try and do this music, or you trying whatever you try and do, if it ain't here, why you gonna stay here if it ain't here and you try and do it? You know what I'm saying? If it's somewhere else, that's where you supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So I go where the music at, wherever any opportunity is. Anybody give me an opportunity, I never turn it down. It don't even matter where the opportunity come from, as long as I see it benefiting me in the long run to what I was doing. And then my other influences came from like my neighborhood, being from South Broward, just being around them. A lot of them were rappers. I wasn't rapping. I could rap, but I wasn't doing no rapping. I was just I was amongst them. I see them rapping, and then a couple dudes asked me to rap, but I wasn't taking it seriously. But I had two homeboys that took it seriously. They passed, but they no longer here. But you know what I'm saying? My cousin used to freestyle all the time. Couldn't get him to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Just couldn't get him to shut up. He'd be like, "Yo, come freestyle with me." I freestyle with him. You know what I'm saying? But it really wasn't my thing. I was in the drawing and everything. And my other man, he was rapping. He wanted to go to the studio, and we had connections with actually one of Trick Daddy's old studios. He used to go to a dude named Yari. He was my old head homeboy, so we go over there, and he got us in the studio a couple times. But dude was like, "Y'all gotta start coming by yourself." We didn't hold to that, but we like going. Like we wasn't. It was hard because it wasn't really, for me. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. But after a while, it just started coming to. I always listened to music, always liked it. So when I got the opportunity to really rap, you feel me? It started sticking with me, and I started having more love for it. I always listen to all kind of music anyway. Like I like Motown music, so like old school shit is like my favorite kind of shit. So you know what I'm saying? My inspirations come from everywhere, like any kind of music for real. I listen to rock and roll, I listen to blues. It don't even matter as long as I like it, or I could relate to the music or something.
I mean, influences are wide and they are varied. They're influential. They pretty much lay the foundation. What you said about Trick giving you that inspiration when you were younger, Dice, what did that mean to you, and how does that translate today in terms of artists inspiring the next generation of speaking life into the youth about their dreams and aspirations to succeed in whatever endeavors that they may want to explore in?
I mean, that meant, for me, it meant a lot. Because like I said, my mom always said, like, I don't really speak on anything because it's more like I'm glad to be where I'm at now, but she always be like, it was like he couldn't even go get a job nowhere, really. You know what I'm saying? Really wasn't no jobs where we was at. So it was either you was outside with it, or
right.
You was trying to find a way. I had homeboys using other people's address to get a job. You know what I'm saying? So like using far out addresses and going far out places to go get jobs and everything. So it was for him to say that, and then me to really think about it, and then see everybody around me. Like I had a homeboy that's locked up now. He probably doing like 20 something years from a 45. He was one of them that used to just work all the time. He used to use people's address, girls he messed with, everything, use their address, get a job out there. So, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a lot of discrimination down there, because like this is like the bottom of the side. Like your neighbor is probably a white lady calling you out your name. You know what I'm saying? Every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, for him to say like, it really put everything into perspective. Like, yeah, I don't know what's out there. I only know what's here, and I'm just being accustomed to what's here ain't gonna get me nowhere if there ain't nothing here for me to get or anything to benefit me. I can't be accustomed to the same shit, not having nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or not being able to go and excel the way I'm trying to go by just sitting here wondering where it gonna come from. I just gotta go about it and just gotta find a way. But it was just like venturing out into another state or another city. It was just beyond me. I was just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? How they would take it. Because I always used to tell people like, man, they don't listen to us down south. This was like back in the 90s. I was like, man, they don't listen to us down south, man. Like, we listen to more New York music down here than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they come down here, they get the vibe of the down south music, and then a lot of them used to take it back up with them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they used to tell us that, like, yo, I go to my people's house and the summer I'm playing No Limit. They don't even know this type of shit yet. You know what I'm saying? So, like, before the videos even came out, you know what I'm saying? So, was hearing about Trick. Like, we heard about Trick. He was already like a superstar before Nan Nigga came out. You know what I'm saying? To us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just cause he was doing, like, he was really pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
so,
I remember. Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was reading the magazine, Source and Double XL, and when you think back to it, shout out to Master P and No Limit, of course, Rap a Lot. Shout out to Jay Prince, who we affectionately and respectfully call the old man. That was kind of where you saw the South opening up. And we can't forget about Atlanta, of course, in the 90s, what they were doing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But when you look at that situation, King and Dice, what was happening in the 90s, going further down, of course, Louisiana, New Orleans, when Cash Money, and Cash Money had been around since 1990. A lot of people did not know that outside of New Orleans, but once they really started to blow after No Limit did a couple of years earlier, you know, then of course it kind of swings back to Miami. Trick, Trina, Rick Ross wasn't, you know, he wasn't who he was yet, but he was working behind the scenes. He would come later on, but that would introduce that whole new era in the 90s. Of course, when you said Trick earlier, Dice, his first album being based on a true story. A lot of people forget about that album, but then of course www.thug.com, that was the album with Nan on it that would eventually launch him into superstardom, you know, and then Trina as well. So we saw that next new generation of Miami rap, you know, coming up and really adding on to an already impressive and considerable discography of musical history and legacy down there. When you went, tell us about that first time you went into the studio, the first rhyme you wrote, and what was it like being in that situation of really being in a professional setting, laying down those lyrics and getting your thoughts out on, you know, on the microphone?
Well, the first time the first time it was written. I was in, like I said, I was at that same studio where that CD was made with the same person. So it was Yari, and we was young. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? My man was like, "Is you gonna take it serious? We gonna walk in here?" I was like, "All right, I'll take it serious. I see what it's about." I walk in there, I do the track. And my homeboy, he like, I can't get my rhyme right, so he went and adjusted it, and I just went. And yo was like, "You think you could get on this beat? You know what I'm saying? If y'all get on this beat, I let y'all get it." And I was like, "Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think I get on." So I don't even remember, like I can't remember the rhyme really, but when I went on and did it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just looked at me. They was like, "Damn, I didn't think he was gonna come like that." I was like, "Yeah." My man was like, "Yeah, he could rap. He just don't want to rap." You know what I'm saying? He was like,
you got so many that try to do it and can't do it, and you could, and you didn't want to. What are the odds?
And it was crazy because I was like, when they asked me, they were talking. I was like, "You ain't heard my man rap?" Because we was like that. He's like my other half. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he rap the same. We rap similar. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very similar. It's just the voices, and he rapping more slower. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? We was in there, and then you know that's when he broke it down to us who he was. He was like, "Yeah, I'm Yari. You know, I did tracks on it. the www.thug.com. You know what I'm saying? You know, one day y'all might be here, but I ended up not meeting Trick at the studio. I ended up meeting him in my park in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my first time the experience was crazy because I was scared. I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, they was like, get up to the microphone. I was like, get up to the microphone. He was like, so when it start playing, I'm like, yo, you giving me like too many instructions already. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm high out my mind. And, you know, it took like 3 takes, you know what I'm saying? But it was a few other times, you know what I'm saying? I was in the studio and I figured out I record myself, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I learned that from being with people. Like, it was a few other times I was in studios. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? I got used to it, but I could never get used to it. You know what I'm saying? I probably could do it. Like the last 2 times when I was in the actual professional one, which was out in Baltimore. I was out this studio somewhere out, downtown somewhere. And then I went in there, and I was with a dude. My homeboy, Baby Rebel, was doing a song that was getting engineered by the dude KP, and that was the only time I enjoyed it. Actually, I ain't gonna lie, that was a whole different experience. It must have been how I just how the vibe was in the studio, but that was dope. You feel me? It was even a more learning experience because he was talking through it. You feel me? Like how we supposed to elevate our voice, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Say it like this. You know what I'm saying? Again, it was more easy with it than the last few times, because the last few times they just threw me in there like, man, you on your own. Just stand up to the mic and do your thing. You feel me? I was like, oh, all right.
Man,
studio time at that time wasn't cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel me? So yeah, but yeah, the studio thing, it was cool, you know what I'm saying? But now I just do it for myself mostly.
When you were in the studio, Dice, what did you learn? And shout out to Rap Rats, because I can't get this question without acknowledging them. And if y'all haven't been on Rap Rats page on IG, check it out, and their YouTube. Wildly entertaining and hilarious and educational at the same time. What was the studio etiquette you learned about in terms of how studio sessions are conducted, in terms of when it's go time and everybody's locked in to record?
Yeah, man, when it's go time, man, it's just like go time. It's just all game faces on. Like, I've been in studios where, like, when I used to be with out Baltimore, I used to be with a record label, Mental Headbangers, and he was like, one day he was like, yo, this is what we doing. All the composition books, all the pieces of paper, all that shit going to the side. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like you basically, now you freestyling everything. He like, I'm just gonna punch y'all in because y'all having a hard time reading. So let's see if you can get it. He said, I'm gonna show y'all something. So we started learning just to come off the top with it. You know what I'm saying? So you got a whole bunch of people in the room listening to one beat and putting something together in their head, trying to just make a whole, at least get 4 bars, like anywhere to 4 to 6 bars before they got to start really thinking of something they had to say. You know what I'm saying? So it was really like, that was like the first time, and he put us through a whole exercise. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, y'all using y'all brain, you feel me? And that was General Beats. That's one of the things, you feel me, he showed me that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I was always learning in there though. Like, even if with music, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would play different people and I'd be learning like different deliveries. I'd be hearing different shit and, you know, just seeing how shit, and just, it was crazy. I learned how to, because I never knew how to count a 16, you know what I'm saying? But I can rap a 16 and end it just at a 16 and know it was a 16. And I learned that there, you know what I'm saying? And he just showed me crazy shit, just like some unregular shit. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, I'm hearing a lot of artists now in the mainstream saying that this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? He taught me to do more than one song at a time. You know what I'm saying? I learned from being in the studio that, man, it's not even like ain't no chilling, kicking, talking about what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? It's very locked in. You know what I'm saying? Very, just like how y'all say, very locked in. Like, and the way he showed me that was by making us do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like very locked in. I was like, damn, I gotta come up with at least 4, because I don't want nobody looking at me crazy if I can't even put 2 together. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just that experience was crazy.
Man, look, you making it sound like this guy studied under Dre in terms of Dre's boot camp studio, like my bro would say.
Well, man, it's like, it's kind of like, man, because at that time, studio time, you had to pay a double, man. Like, it was like, what, 75 hours or 100? I mean, $75 or 100 an hour per session. You gotta get it in. You gotta get it in because nobody want to cough up that bread.
Right. Ain't nobody. That shit is crazy. You just had to go out. Yeah, he said, man, you always used to say that. You want to pay for studio time? He said, let me charge you. I'll charge you. You feel me? Y'all really be mad. I was like, damn, he would. He ain't lying, because we be here for like a whole fucking half a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is about it, though, listen to you, reflect on those days, Dice. I see the warmth and the fondness. You acknowledge it was difficult at times, but you always acknowledge, in your recollections of it, that it was educational more than anything. And most importantly, you had a circle around you that understood of the importance of what it meant. Okay, we're here to do a job. A lot of times you see a lot of these artists go in the studio and just mess around, and they're not taking it serious. And it depends, because like I said, every studio, when you're dealing with your engineer, your mixer, the producer, everybody has different rules of how they want the session to run. Some wanted to keep it fun. They want to keep it light because they want it to reflect in the music. Some are like, they burn candles, because they want to just have that peaceful vibe. Some, they're like, it's just me and the artist and whoever is directly responsible for mixing and engineering the sound, and we don't want nobody else in there.
Dang.
So,
or the drill sergeant thing.
Yeah, it most definitely is.
But it's a very this is what people have to understand about it. For those listening out there, studio recording is a very intimate process. It is very deliberate. It is very calculated. And it's like it's like an NBA player when he's in the zone coming in. It's like a sports player in general, when they're in the zone coming in and they're locked into it. So everybody knows that they got a job that they have to do. And depending on it. Now, mind you all, Dice is just talking about it from where he's just starting out. So there's no, at this point, record label or nobody involved. So there's no deadlines and nothing like that. But when you got deadlines and other people's money and they're expecting those results at a certain time, yeah, you got to come with it. Tell us about your first project that you ended up doing that would ended up getting released and the process and preparation behind that, Dice.
Oh, that was crazy. The first project that I released was actually a project, a guy named DJ Hell RZA. He hit me up, and he was I was already working on something, and I ended up pushing it to the side and putting his first, because he was like, yeah, I like your music. This whole thing was, he was like, I'm gonna give you a list of beats, you're gonna rap on them, and I'm just going, if I feel the beat can be harder, or I want you on a harder beat, I'm just gonna take the beat out and put your vocals on another beat. I was like, cool. So we end up doing like, I think 5 tracks, and I was like, we could drop this as an EP, because it was getting like, a lot of feedback. A track called Roll Format, which was like everybody's favorite, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, yeah, yo, this track right here, which is like a straight through, no hook track, is just straight through for like, what I think, like 5 minutes, 55 seconds or something. And I'm just rapping on it. And after that, when I did that one track, he just came back and he was like, you want to do a whole project? We just going to lay a project down. I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a lot going on. was like, I'm not gonna charge you no beats. I just want to do a project. I was like, we can do it and see how far it go. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't never turn nothing down. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Just depending. Like if I ain't like the beats, I'd probably had to. Yeah, I don't know. We'd had to work on something, but his beats was nice. I liked how his little thing he had going on. He had a little DJ thing he did at nighttime. So I was like, I know my tracks will be played by whoever hear his station or whatever. So I was with it. It's just as long as there's a plan to it, as long as we both benefit off of something, you know, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? But the project was called The Art of Raw Format, and it was because like he was like, I'm not gonna put too much mix on the vocals. I'm just gonna leave them they almost gonna be raw. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, cool. As long as it sounded good, and it sounded good, everybody liked it, so we ran with it.
Okay. And when it hit the streets after you finished recording, what was the reception like in terms of it?
I had a lot of feedback. I had a few homeboys saying the songs they liked on there. Like I always get feedback on certain songs. It's more so like the song selections they like. They'd be like, it was always everybody was like, I like the last two songs, or I like the first song and the third song, or you know what I'm saying. It would always be. I had feedback on a song where a dude told me I play this song with my kid every time I take my kid out for a walk. That was crazy. I was like, oh, you play it for your kid? That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just being from the stages that I'm at now, but the feedback was good. Even if like the sales was low, like they were picking their songs. I would tell them to go back, but you know that's on. You know, you only could push but so hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to Sandman. We see you in the comment section, man. Much love.
What's good, Sandman?
When you look at the project, Dice, in terms of when you dropped it, what did you learn in terms of it getting around town, interacting with the people? Because it's one thing to record a project, and it's another thing to get it out there from a perspective of seeing everybody respond to it and then really building on that success, because of course after that then there's this thing called shows, you know. What was that like in terms of getting out there and actually getting to performing in front of everybody?
Oh man, I could do it. Crazy thing is like it's easy for the performing is easy, even though like I'm very antisocial. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like off the stage, I only talk to like whoever I know for the most part. You feel me? Like I know them. You know what I'm saying? More than a week. It got to be a couple months or something. But going in and acting with people, it's just like I don't know. Music, it just changed me. You know what I'm saying? Once I perform, it's like something I like doing. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a rush for me. Like you know what I'm saying? So when I get off the stage, I see the interaction with me and how the crowd acting towards how the music is and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for me to go flow. I pass out flyers. You know what I'm saying? Tell them this is where you can find me. I also got this going on. I'm a brand ambassador for this clothing brand, this liquor, this going on with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just interacting with them, busting it up with them, talking with them. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but it's just I don't know. I just go off the energy for real.
And we got Eris in the comment section too. Hey Eris, hey,
how you doing, Eris?
Big shout out to you for making this happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you made a valid
point. Entertainment.
Yeah, you make a valid point about stage performance, because see, people got to master that, because stage performance is where really now, considering how the business dynamic changed, this is the bread and butter now. The merchandise and the stage performance. So if you can't master that, you assed out, buddy.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's why, man. Shoot, I'm start doing my merch. You feel me? And I'm start gonna have merch. But I've always been, you know, promoting. I always used to go make a whole bunch of flyers, like 250 flyers, and that's just one show. You know what I'm saying? I even had my promoter LeVar one day called me and said, I went to a gas station. I seen your flyer in the window. I was like, yeah, I went. A homeless dude came up to me, asked me for some money, and then I had some flyers in my hand. He's like, yo, you give me $5, I'll pass them out. I was like, shit, you could have 20, you gonna pass them out. Shit. He went and passed them out. You feel me?
That's
Like,
what it is.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was all cool. I've been out Philly with Flyers. I go out. I've been out Cali doing shows with Born Divine.
Okay. Okay.
I've been some airway at DC with Bezel. If I'm in Baltimore, I'm with LeVar. So
That's dope, man.
doing the shows, I don't got no problem trying to do shows. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem with it. Anybody want to come book me for a show? You know what I'm saying? Get at me at 3 Dice Ceno Music on Instagram. Let me know. I'm cool with doing shows.
And one thing about it, Dice, because you exhibit the most defining trait is the DIY of do it yourself. Some artists can kind of be lazy about it and not be proactive in terms of taking their career into their hands, doing what is needed to get out there. And you obviously are going to roll your sleeves up and do the work in terms of it, in terms of promotion, passing the flyers out, obviously being an independent who is on the grind, and then also committing yourself to your stage performance as well. One thing with stage performances that has been the lament in the culture over the past few years is how artists are actually using the actual song as a backing track and then, rhyming over it, which some would say lessens the authenticity of the performance, because there's always a rule in show business that they say in certain situations you never want to sound like what you sound like on the album, because people came to see you. They've heard the album. They want to hear you sound like the album. They'll get you on the album. But when they see you live, they want to see a visceral experience that is of an explosive nature coming to life. What do you do in terms of preparing yourself for your stage performances, and what is your itinerary of doing that?
Well, I ain't gonna fake. I do it. You know what I'm saying? I get on the song because I basically I freeze. Everything's punched in, so I don't write. I don't recite it. So I've been down DC. I done shows. People done heard me rap over the thing, but I guess it's how you do go about it for real.
Right.
Because I'm more like I won't. Because I see a lot of people when they do it, it's like they just doing it like if they were standing at the mic doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And instead of just like going out there and just like, man, if this is you that you rapping, regardless if you wrote it or you punched it in, you freestyled it straight through, it's you. You know what I'm saying? So all the actions and the movements that you do when you moving and you felt that vibe when you did that song, that should come out and on the performance. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when I listen to it, when I do a song, I'm just listening to a beat, and the beat gave me a feeling. And every time I hear that song, that feeling always come back. You know what I'm saying? It's because I always listen to my music because I know like if somebody was like, yeah man, why you did that? I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it this way. I'm gonna try with it just the instrumental, but I'd rather just do it with the song because I don't know all the words. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
At least you can admit it. At least you can admit that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's more like, you know what I'm saying? I know sometimes I'll do it, you know what I'm saying? Without even I'll just do it. I hear the beat playing, I'll be like, oh, that's this beat, and I'll just rap the thing, and then I'll just laugh to myself joking. I'll be like, oh, that was a hot song, you feel me? And then go do the song that I was supposed to do. But you know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people do it, and I just think it's just how you go about how you perform, because
Right.
But they, you always gonna get they want to be heard like how they see it on TV, and I think that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? I like a lot of them performances. I don't knock any performance for real.
Understood. Obviously your music is real, it's raw, it's from the heart, and that's what good music, what good art is all about. We've seen lately a lot of elements of the music where it has taken a turn where people sometimes disclose too much of their personal business and or using that music to go and just basically diss the ops and say all types of off the wall shit. Have you in any time in the industry, have you ever dealt with anybody that you had problems with and you may have had to address them on wax, or you have never had those issues and you were just all about your art and creating your, art and your, sharing your gift?
Always be something like that, but it's not always like people be like, man, who you was talking? I'd be like, sometimes it's just you see shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't always up on you. You just see it and you like, oh, okay, that's how it is. Or you experience something. But then I'll be like, y'all don't always got, you know what I'm saying? It ain't always gotta be a thing where you put that person all the way on blast. You could just say, this is the type of personality or the type of people I just don't deal with. You know what I'm saying? Or why you acting like this, and then you ain't got too much say nobody name. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like that's what it is now. Like a lot of them be like, man, I won't feel it's real, or they gonna see me as some kind of punk or something. You feel me? Like try and go. You know what I'm saying? And addressing something like, man, I'm not addressing nothing that ain't got like if it's just something like you got a problem with me, I don't even know what the problem is. That shit not getting addressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm going about my day. I can't give you 5 minutes of my day. I'm trying to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a great way. Yeah. And that's a great way to look at it. This can be hip hop. We love the culture. Rap is the lyrical element of the game that is a part of that. And there's a lot of ways to go about it, but what you said resonates with truth, because you're a man who's trying to do something with his career, and playing into nonsense is not something that you're trying to do. It's nonsense. But it is, in the worst cases, as we've seen with other artists, sometimes shit gets out of pocket and you got to put them, when they get out of pocket, you got to let them know, like, okay, this is what we do when we find something loose and we got to change this whole thing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cause like growing up, like and the dudes I knew that was gangsters and stuff like that, and from my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and from neighborhoods that I used to chill at and everything, I used to be like, man, these dudes don't want to be rappers. This is what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they was never that, and I think it's just because of back in the day, and now it's everything different now. But back in the day, they wasn't thinking like they never even thought about it. They would tell the people that can actually rap or they see actually being that, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like everybody found a way, like everybody found that way to get in, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I still can't knock it, but I feel like just like how everybody feel like you ain't gotta say too much. You know, if you got a problem with that person, like back in the day, you just took it up with that person. Ain't nobody had to know too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it became a culture problem. It became I think not. It ain't even beyond. I think it's beyond music. I think it just went beyond how people and within today's society just handle their conflicts. Like they just take it online and do weird stuff, and they figure, hey, they getting the likes out of it, they getting the views out of it, they gonna monetize it.
Yeah, then you really don't know what it really is. Like, is it really beef, or is you just doing it to get views and likes? You know what I'm saying? And then it comes.
Yeah, you got about that staging the beat. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna stage this thing so we can stage this conflict so we can get some views off of it.
Yeah, or we're gonna put it out there and it's a real conflict going on, something real serious, you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of those, especially like on Instagram, or just hearing people say certain shit happening. That's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Just to put something out there, like,
yeah,
everybody seeing what's on social media, so yeah, your op gonna see it too, you know what I'm saying? But he don't gotta show you that. You know what I'm saying?
And people got to understand, like, you and King were saying, there's a certain element where straight up and down shit gets real. And if there are issues, off the cuff, we don't condone or promote violence in the streets, but we understand how it gets on street business, especially when things get a little bit out of control. And the reality is with those type of situations is that we would tell artists, especially with the violent history some of these feuds have deteriorated into, to watch what you say. But we're also going to say sometimes there are situations that you do have to address. But I tell people, watch what you say, because certain things, once you say certain things, once it gets out there, it's out there. And once it goes there, you can't tell another man how to act if he feels disrespected.
Right.
You know, and you know, people, I guess when we look at this instant gratification age of social media, y'all, I think we see it from, like King said, how everybody's trying to monetize rather than use actual talent. What have you seen, Dice, in terms of how this marketing, in terms of, you know, just not even with the beefs or anything, just in general, how artists push their music, what they may wear, what they may say, you know, just the different avenues and aspects of it?
Oh, what you asking me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ask me the question. I'm my fault. Ask me one more time.
It's okay. How do you feel in terms of how artists go about today, in terms of how they're marketing themselves outside of, you know, the beef, and just in terms of what they say and do online to try to elicit attention, like in terms of, you know, stunts or just trying to pose up doing stuff? What's your opinion on that?
My opinion, I don't even think they got to do it. Some of them, like some of the ones that's beefing, like I understand, you know, y'all, whether they, you know, they in gangs or whatever going on, or they blocks, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that understandable, but even those dudes don't even say too much. You know what I'm saying? Even the dudes, right. A lot of them, but the ones that do, I be like, y'all way talented. Like y'all would say something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me how your day go. How you feeling? You know, I'm not worried about who your op is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna listen to it on the next track and the next track after that and the track after that.
Right.
And every time I see you, I'm worried. I'm only hearing about you and him. Then I don't really. It's just like y'all say, man. You know, people come to see who the artist is. I'm just seeing what you do outside all day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he do. That's him. He like to go after his op, the same dude. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really relate to him because I'm not going after that dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But those dudes, I feel like, man, they should just focus on what they doing, man. Just I know they got more shit going on with them that they want to do is other than talk about who they ready to go get around the corner or something. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. On this journey, have you dealt with any majors in terms of talks, in terms of possible label deals, or are you pretty much content to do it on an independent level?
Yeah, I had a few talks with people from that was on and independent label, well, not independent, but major labels. I had a talk with a dude from Interscope.
Okay.
It just wasn't matching with me and him. It wasn't matching up what was said on the contract. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
The contract said one thing, and the phone conversation, he was like, "Nah, I'm only giving you half of the 100,000." I was like, "Nah, I already made plans for the 100. Like, you should have let me know I was gonna get that half so I could see how I'm gonna calculate it. If you want me to move down there and you gonna do this for me and that for me, I need to know how I'm gonna move so I could get out of that." Like, it's always, because I always feel like people doing something for me. Like, you gonna put me in the house, you gonna give me a car to drive. I still feel like that favor has to be repaid. So I'm trying to get up out of that real quick. Like, how we establish a fair trade. I get my own shit, you get your shit back type thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, or, you know, as if it's a money thing, you know, you're going to get yours back when I do what I got to do for what we doing. You know what I'm saying? But it was then, and I had one Atlantic Records. That was when I first came. Probably I was like 25. You know what I'm saying? And it was an unsolicited artist deal. And then the lady at the time was Savannah Green at, I think, Atlantic Records.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know nothing. I ain't know nothing. I ain't know what she was talking about. All I heard was the studio time was free, and I was getting in clubs. Like I ain't know nothing. I didn't know what
Right.
was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I just know it's a label. Everybody gonna know who I am. Like, and then I didn't go all the way through with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to my homeboys like he's starting a label. I'm about to be on his label. So I'm like, so what do we do? Like, so I'm on your label. So I'm supposed to be like merged with them. You supposed to talk to them. I mean, how this go? You know what I'm saying? He didn't know what to do. So you know what I'm saying? That was that time. And then I had I think the one record label talked to me. It was Bentley Records. That was recent, but I spoke to him and then I did exactly this thing. I just went. I heard the record label deal, and I asked them what other deals I could go. They said they had distribution. I said I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? If I ever come with y'all, that's what I'll do. I haven't got back to them yet. I was going to drop them some more music to see if that offer still was on the table and I could go about it like that. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of a flexible like label for any artist that looking to get on the label. They real flexible.
That's dope, man. When you're out there, you're negotiating deals. What should artists understand in terms of those conversations and how those conversations are conducted in business?
It's not you can't come into a meeting room with these kind of people like you talk to your homeboy on the street. That's never gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? The attitude and everything, trying to scare these people. They hold the money in their hand. They not too scared.
Right.
They can tell you to walk out the door like all that man. They really want to see the etiquette of your business. You know how you go about it if you know anything at all. I wouldn't even go in a meeting not knowing nothing because the more they know you don't know, you know what I'm saying. They don't really have to tell you at all. You know what I'm saying. I know it's been a lot of dudes that got bad record deals. You know what I'm saying, or feel like they've been cheated. But I'd be like, if you didn't know the whole program going on with the contract and not really knowing what they were offering you, then you know what I'm saying, and not really knowing what to say, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't no real point in just approaching that situation and trying to get into that contract. But I don't really, walking in that kind of business and walking and trying to. Like, I done spoke to dudes that told me they were going to sign me, and they were just wanting me to do features with their artists first. And I was like, that's where the conversation should have started.
Right.
People, you know what I'm saying? It's basically like that. I had a dude talk about Spotify, and I was thinking we was going to talk about shows and everything like that. And it was, you want to up my Spotify. I was like, I could do that. I know how to do that. I'm not, right now, I'm just making the music. I'm not really promoting it on pages, you know what I'm saying? I'm just putting like little catalogs together and just throwing everything out there, just trying to get everything, just a little format for me. So when I go out back in the shows, I can start pushing and promoting out there, outside.
Understood.
And that's the part of the game that a lot of people dislike.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on streaming in terms of that, in terms of how the music is distributed, and how that operation works in terms of accessibility? Some would say it's a great thing because it helps you get your music out to the masses. Some would say it's not such a great thing because the pay isn't as great, as it would be back in the day, maybe doing physical sales. Tell us your thoughts on that, Dice.
Man, yeah. I would say it's got its pros and cons. I think it's just you gotta know how to use it.
Gotcha.
Like certain people. Like I learned that my man told me. If you online, you twiddle your fingers and you can scroll all day. You could have been promoting a song. You know what I'm saying?
That part right there.
So the amount of time you scroll through your phone, you could have been standing on the sidewalk, you could be on the stoop, you could be anywhere. You scrolling through your phone. Everybody got a phone in their hand through like all times of the day. Everybody got a phone in their hand. So you know what I'm saying? There's no way your music can't get out there. You can't make a dollar off just holding your phone in your hand. You know what I'm saying? You like now, like just being from being an 80s baby and seeing everything now, I'm looking at it like, man, I sit on scroll and put links in everybody's inbox all day if I'm not doing anything. If I'm just sitting there and not doing that and twiddling my fingers, you know what I'm saying? And not knowing, like, at the end of the day, probably out of 1,000 people, you probably got 100, 200 people actually, you know, going forward to go listen to your music, go buy an album, go buy an EP, go buy a single, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah, so, you know, I take that time and opportunity to go about that, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, I even tell them, how your day? I talk to them in the comment and put a link right behind what my reply to their post or whatever, you know. Oh, all right, at the same time, also check me out, you know what I'm saying? I also do music or whatever, or I'm, you know, just going about however I gotta go about it.
What does that mean, Dice, to interact with the public and really, you know, talk to the people and really build those personal relationships with your fans out there in terms of communication and such?
Man, I think it's important, man, because I think it's important because they'll even, you know, you make real good fans out of that. You know what I'm saying? They'll come back and ask you how your day is, tell you happy birthday. Oh, I heard your song. You didn't even post it on his page yet. You know what I'm saying? He probably went and bought it already before you even got to say anything. That's one of the type of people, you know, I engage in all my fans. Even when I'm doing the show and they come up to me, we'll have like a long, probably like 30-minute hour talk.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, I know one time I was out the Bronx doing a show and we in some little hood area, you know what I'm saying? Dude come up to me, yo, I'm looking around. He's like, yo, you might look like you looking for weed. I got me a little weed, you feel me? I'm busting up with this dude bring up the motorcycle, you know what I'm saying? People walk up to me, I'm passing out flyers. I see people that know me from the internet walking up to me like, yo, what's up, man? I didn't know you gonna be out here, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I even had dudes asking me like, yo, if you think about moving up here, yo, we cool, so, you know, you need a job. I got my own business. Like, yo. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, yo, like I love it, man. I love interacting with the people. Like it's like a giving. Like I said, yo, once I perform, I got it out of the way. It's like a whole nother me. Just like I'm busting up with everybody. I'm probably drinking with them, smoking with them. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
and that's important, man. You know, a lot of times people, some of these artists, of course not all, but some, you know, they tend to try to act unapproachable and everything. But at the end of the day, the fans are what makes you in terms of how you're able to interact. And that is a situation that it really, really helps further your career. People will always support those that they feel a bond with and a kinship with, who they feel speaks to them in a real way. And if they know them as people as well, that really, you know, cements loyalty more. And I think a lot of artists need to understand that this is not a business that fame online will sustain. Getting out there, meeting the people, talking to them, interacting with them is really going to be the bridge that extends far beyond your career after it's over. Because you always want people to have something positive to say about you. Everybody may not like you, but the ones that you do interact with and you're positive with them, you want just something to be positive along the way. You know, you never want to be negative on purpose.
That's the key of networking.
Right.
Absolutely. In terms of the industry,
you know,
go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was right ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him like, who you want to work with, Dice, in the industry in terms of, you know, maybe doing some projects with possibly.
Man, well, I did have one. The one I did do was with Jag, which was Street Code 2. That was one of the ones. And that was cool because he reached out. How it happened was he heard American Evil song I had, and he was always like, "That's dope." And I ain't know I was always putting it in his inbox, like, yo, like I was always in people's inbox. So he'd be like, yeah, that. And one day he just came, he was like, yo, that American Evil song, yo, that shit is real dope, man. We might gotta do something. Then I was like, dang. I was like, yeah, I listen to your shits on YouTube, man. I listen to your I-95, you know, any joint he got, you know what I'm saying? That he got any new videos, so that was cool, you know what I'm saying? And he also opened opportunity for me to deal with other artists too. Like I didn't act on it on time because I had a lot of stuff going on. But he had one with Simba, which is an artist. One Simba from I think he's from San Fran. I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, that's I definitely want to get it one with him. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. That's probably like one of my top lists. Him, Smoke Dizza. There's a lot of people, man. I would even like to get up with Rock Marciano for real.
Oh man, that would be dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Graph, most definitely Graph. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely Graph. And a few of them was battle rappers. I be joking it up with Bankhead. You know what I'm saying? The battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes on his battles, when he win his battles, you know, I be joking with him. You feel me? Saying how he beat the dude or whatever. But most definitely, him, he's definitely one too. Like I got like a weird, you know what I'm saying? I'll do songs with battle rappers because I got a lot of favorite ones. And I know a lot of them do music, and then I done heard it, so you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of them too, like Geechee Gotti, if he would be one too. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of dudes, especially and Nas. Nas is one of my tops too. You know what I'm saying. Nas, a lot of them old dudes, Gilly, Raekwon, Ghostface. I met Capadonna. He didn't feel like being seen at the time when he was at the show, but I understood fully. But you know what I'm saying, he had his own thing going on. But yeah, he a nutter. I definitely do. Yeah, those type dudes. It's a lot more, man. We be here forever.
Well, I mean, but that's dope, man. I mean, in terms of the people, some you got to meet and some you aspire to work with. And I think that's always something that you always strive to because, you know, you never know what can happen with it. This particular project that you got out now, tell everybody about it in terms of the process that went into it.
The turning them around.
Yes, sir.
The turning them around, the process, it is crazy because I was just doing songs. I had it was crazy because I had my homeboys here. So I had my homeboy Rebel staying here and another dude Ace staying here. And I was just doing music. Just they would see me, I'd just be in there doing music. Rebel coming there, what you working on? Boom, we might drop a song or something. But I'd always be working. I'd stay working on music. And at the time, I was dealing with a lot of mental, like finding out I had mental health issues. I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? I got diagnosed, everything. And once they show you and then you in there talking with a therapist and seeing what's really wrong with you and actually seeing that it's a problem, it's like, all right, now I got to fix these problems. And then I got homeboys that are saying like, yeah, I see that in you. So that whole process was just like bringing a lot of shit out, you know what I'm saying?
Understood.
So it was just like venting, and which is the song that me and Baby Rebel got on the CD on the album too. But I was just venting, like, and people were just throwing songs at the time. Then Jag was one of the dudes that was like, we was gonna do a collab. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be a song with Chris Brown, and then he was talking about going out there doing a video. You know what I'm saying? I guess he was trying to really step my game up into how to move. You know what I'm saying? And get how to this is how we get things moving. We could do the song, get the video done, push it out, you know what I'm saying, and promote that, you know what I'm saying. But it came to doing Street Code when he had that one. He was like, I got this one for you. And I heard the song and I was like, oh yeah, all right, this is up my alley. I could do this. This is one of these topics, you know. And then when I did the verse, it was kind of like, yeah, and I put all the songs together. But it wasn't till like, it was one song and it was a performance that kind of like made the whole album come together. I was sitting there, I was downtown on Baltimore Street at the 2 o'clock club, and I was doing a song called Pain. That's me and Baby Rebel, and I did my verse, and the dude heard my verse, and he was like, yo, that's real. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, so when Street Code came and he was like, this is for my niggas in the streets, I was like, well, yeah, because, you know, at the end of the day, and when I was coming up, them the type of dudes that took me in, you know what I'm saying? And I run around with them type dudes, you feel me? Even though that I wasn't into that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I always found myself around that crowd, you know what I'm saying? So when I made that song, it was just like, all right, this is when I get to talk my experience of being out there, you know what I'm saying? Because I do it a lot, but I do it in like little increments of songs and everything, you know what I'm saying? I don't really try to fill a song up with just that, you know what I'm saying? It gotta be more substance to the song or the music. So that song, it kind of, I said it goes with everything going on this album, because every song on this album is just talking about what happened, my mental health issues stem off of what was going on outside in the environment I was around when I was down south.
That's a real statement to make, Dice, especially in the Black community where mental health issues can be a stigma that people do not want to address. Obviously, we're not going to ask you to disclose what you and your psychologist talked about. But how important is it in an industry that is notoriously demanding, where fans can be fickle and the fame can be suffocating? How important is it for an artist to mentally have themselves together in the capacity of being able to handle those pressures and not let it get to them?
Man, me, man, I don't know. I don't know how nice I can say it, but I stay from around a lot of crabs. You know what I'm saying? I really don't got no problem to be like, if they be like, why you don't hang? I be like, nah, that ain't, I don't do that business over there. That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because the things that trigger you, you know it's gonna trigger you. You know what I'm saying? Like I take a lot of time, like I tell my son, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, you gotta pay attention to shit going on, everything going on around you. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't friendly, everything ain't, you know what I'm saying, ain't what it seemed to be, just how it sounds. Just because how it sound make it sound sweet, but it ain't, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, I'll aggravate a motherfucker and then tell her ass down like, hey man, I ask a million questions. It'll never be why, but it'll be a question, you know what I'm saying? It'll be a straight out forward question, like, so you could do this for me, how you gonna do this for me? You know what I'm saying? What would make you want to do anything? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because I be seeing, like, I be hearing a lot of these stories going on in the industry, and I be like, man, you find some of these kids bragging, they already got problems going in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man, sell it.
And then you not even, you know, I be thinking like you don't show them how to like, the industry not dead. They be like, I'm not here to be their fathers. I'm just here to make money off them type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's both like, I don't care what's going on in your head. I don't care you crying. I don't care you about to break down. I don't care, oh, you about to go out there and fight. Well, you go out there and fight and get us some views. We'll clean it up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always the case. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It could be the most innocent person going to the industry and probably a snap kill like 40 of them dudes in an event. You know what I'm saying? You never know what's going on in their head. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing like the music is a getaway for them to let it all out. But I mean, you don't let everything out. You know what I'm saying? I know, because I'm always one that bottles stuff up. And I had homeboys be like, you can't do that. I'd be like, man, well, sometimes I feel like if I don't, you know what I'm saying, it's not going to be a good situation. I'm going to have like a negative look at everything. I'm just going to want to approach that situation instead of looking for something positive. I don't bottle up, don't have nowhere to run to, you know what I'm saying? But the music now, I don't got to bottle nothing up if I can let it out, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like y'all say, you ain't just like, you know, y'all ain't got to come out and be direct with everything you saying about whatever situation that got you in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? You could just speak on it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think like I think like that they basically sometimes I be feeling like these kids be doing songs that ain't really them. Sometimes it's just something that the record label want them to do. Like this is what got you popular. So they don't really get to express themselves as who they are no more. Because I've seen a lot of changes in their music. Like when you see them before they became who they are, you know what I'm saying? You be like, yo, you wasn't rapping like that, or you wasn't even pushing like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you this person. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a whole nother personality with a whole bunch of more problems going on, and you didn't even deal with your own to who you actually is. You know what I'm saying?
And that's real because when we look at it, like rest in peace to OG Mako a couple months ago when he killed himself. Um, people in LA were like, he had been dealing with some things for a while. Obviously, to what extent we don't know. But like you said, Dice, that is absolutely correct about how you have a lot of people who got stuff going on psychologically, whether schizophrenia, whether agoraphobia, in terms of being around crowds, whether a lot of, ADHD. It's so many different afflictions that in a business that requires social interaction, it's not only about social interaction, it's about social interaction that is healthy and respectful between all parties involved. Because you got some people, they will just spaz out over fucking nothing. And, we've seen situations with people where they crash and burn. I mean, I'm going to say it on air. We look at the situation with Kanye right now and what he's doing.
Right.
And, there's a certain element where it could be taken as maybe these are publicity stunts. But my niggas, I'm going to keep it real. Some of the shit Kanye's saying out there, this is beyond theatrics. And it's like no person in their right mind is going to say some of the stuff he done said over the past month.
Right.
So
it's a collision crash course.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of punishment, you know what I'm saying? He was getting, that camera always in his face. I'm like, sometimes that camera can't, that camera got to go.
Look, I feel you, dog. The funny thing about it, y'all, is we got so many people who, when you look at artists like Jay-Z, and shout out to him, B, Blue Ivy, all of his beautiful family. We remember when Jay was really getting out there, when his career in the 90s really began to take off. And, Jay, I always joke with everybody. I'm like, you would have got Jay probably damn near 30 years ago in terms of doing some of these interviews, when he was just trying to get out there, But Jay is past that now because Jay's thing is, I've done all that. You know what? Jay's going to be, 55 years old this year. Jay is like, nigga, I'm trying to relax. I don't need the cameras in front of me.
Right. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, man, like, I was at shows where the cameraman will follow me, but he'll be so close. I'll be like, yo, you don't have to be, like, a close-up don't got to be like that. Like, you all the way up on my arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stretch my arm out. I can't move how I want to. Like, I'm moving, trying to get away, and it's like he following me. I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to get the angle or whatever, that's cool, but, man, you need to zoom in. Like,
was that your personal cameraman, or was that the venue's cameraman?
It was the venue's cameraman, and the crazy thing, it was one of the cameramen. I was trying to go to the other cameraman. I'm like, let him get the footage. Because you was on my arm. Like, if I turn around, are we gonna be looking at each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, I'm not like that either. I'm very not a camera person. You feel me? Especially like if it's in my face, the bright light. You know what I'm saying? And I got my days. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, performing is cool.
Right.
But like me saying something, I would get all jittery. I'd be like, man, I can't do it.
And you know what, Dice? That is okay. That is perfectly fine because some people, for that level of exposure, it's like when people, like you said, when you're on the job and you're getting recorded performing, that's different. But that's why I tell any artist, and this is something just out of respect, because what we've talked about in terms of the mental health aspect, you don't know how people are going to react to things. So you have, because if you have your own camera crew, they know how you work in terms of how close or far to stay from you. If it's a venue's camera person, talk to the manager of the venue, talk to the camera people, let them know specifically and directly which angles to shoot. We want only zoom ins. We do not want, if it is not an interview video, I don't want any close-ups.
Right.
Right.
We want to make sure that for me to be comfortable and to give my best performance, that you all in this particular facility that I'm performing at, that you all make acquiescences to reasonably accommodate me. Everybody should be able to work these things out with each other in a way that is respectful and beneficial for all parties involved. That way everybody's satisfied and there's no type of, as we say in the country, ain't no fracas gonna break out because of that.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, we about to probably wrap it up in probably about 5 more minutes. You have any other shout outs you want to give out, man?
Oh man, for sure, man. Let me get a shout out, man. Let me get a shout out to LeVar, Bazell, for giving me opportunities at shows. Adrian out in New York also gave me shows. You feel me? He do the I Am Freestyle concert series. I don't know if he's still continuing doing them, but he did them back probably like 2-3 years ago. It was the last time, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Aries, you know what I'm saying? UBO Entertainment, you know what I'm saying? For taking me under their wing, you know what I'm saying? Giving me the opportunity to do this interview right here. Shout out to y'all off the Cuff Radio, you know what I'm saying? For also giving me the opportunity, allowing me to be a guest on here and get an interview, you know what I'm saying? Let people know more about me. Shout out to everybody who listened to my music, everybody who done gave me a like, gave me a fire emoji, everybody who done hopped on a feature with me, you know what I'm saying? All the homies, you know what I'm saying? Y'all already know who y'all is, man. I ain't gotta say your name, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Just everybody in general, man. And a shout out to every artist, man, out here trying to do the same thing I'm doing, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
We appreciate you. And Dice, thank you so much again. You're welcome back anytime. Eris, thank you again so much, baby, for this. We appreciate you and love you so much. King, take us out of here.
On that note, we better be up out of here. We'll catch y'all on the rebound. One love.
Peace, y'all. We out.
All right.